Time now to get our Knicks Fix with Alan Hahn. As we welcome you back to the Geico Studio Suite, I'm Al Troutwig. Down in our courtside studio, Alan Hahn. Alan, I have a question for you. What in the name of Red Holtzman is going on with this Knicks team? I mean, a few weeks ago, we talked about maybe the Knicks thinking about winning the Atlantic Division. Then that went completely away, and now suddenly it's there to talk about again, isn't it?
Well, it is, and mainly because the Philadelphia 76ers haven't exactly run away with the division since the All-Star break. They have been kind of struggling, maybe hit a plane. Did get that win over the Knicks 2 weeks ago, which was a big win for them. This game tomorrow, now we're not looking past tonight's game against the Raptors, also a division game, but the game tomorrow is going to be very interesting because if the Knicks can beat the Sixers, well, that would give them the season series win, which would be the tiebreaker. Now, we're talking about a team that's still 4.5 games ahead of the Knicks, and you have the Celtics, who are only a game and a half behind the Sixers, also in the mix. But it's something to shoot for. This is a team, Al, and you remember this, haven't won a banner in 18 years. The last time they won the Atlantic Division was '94 when they won it back-to-back, and after that, they haven't won it since. And, you know, really going back in history, they've only won it 4 times since the Atlantic Division was formed in 1970-71, including that inaugural season. So they haven't really been division champions. This team's been talking about playing for a championship, so maybe you know, you kind of dangle that carrot. Now, Mike Woodson said we're going to take it a game at a time. They don't want to really put that out in front. Obviously, again, that lead with the Sixers have is still pretty big. But just the idea that it's something to play for and something to shoot for, and with 21 games to go, it's still very much in reach. Now, it doesn't mean anything, though, Al, in the standings. If you get the division championship, if you don't have a better record than the 5th seed or if you're the 4th seed, you don't get home court advantage. So it's not as if winning the division guarantees you anything. But like I said, if you can hang another banner, have something to build off of after this season, I think it's something to shoot for. So it's still very much there for the Knicks.
So it's not like hockey. Meanwhile, the big question is, where did this effort come from for 3 straight games? And why did the Knicks not look like this before Mike Woodson took over as head coach? And he was asked that just a few minutes ago. I know you heard it. He said, I have no explanation.
No, but I mean, it starts with effort. I think that's really first and foremost. And it starts with the fact that they really are focusing more on the defensive end. But, you know, everybody was expecting the offense to change. Everybody was expecting so much to change with the defense. But really, it's been more effort. Obviously, the offense has been incredible with the points. Look at the 112.7. The thing that stands out to me, Al, is there hasn't been a 20-point scorer yet in these 3 games, considering all the points they've scored. They really have spread the wealth. It is something that's very much based on the same things that Mike D'Antoni was emphasizing with his offense. It's not going to be a lot of the ISO mellow, which I threw out there a couple of games ago, and a lot of other people have talked about, which is based on the theory that when Mike Woodson was in Atlanta, it was Joe Johnson's game. They called it ISO Joe. That's something that Woodson bristles about when you talk to him. He doesn't agree with that. He thinks his offense has been pretty efficient, and it isn't just one guy. They've been proving it so far in these past 3 games.
Is John Starks having dinner tonight or not?
I don't know, but I don't want to look. I really don't, because I'm hungry right now.
All right, not everything's been fixed. Let's talk about the third quarter. What's going on at halftime there that the Knicks can fix?
Well, they've talked about it because it has been an issue this season. It's something that Amari Stoudemire said that they need to come out earlier, kind of get a lather going, get loose maybe. They've been sitting around too much in the locker room. So they have changed up some things. They decided to cut their half times a little bit shorter, but you can see the numbers there. Not good. They've only won 1 third quarter in the last 7 games. That was Friday's game here at the Garden when they outscored the Pacers 38-27 in the blowout win that night. But it's definitely something they have to improve because coming out at halftime, you have to be a more focused team. As you get towards the playoffs, those third quarters mean a lot as you build towards fourth quarters. If you have a good lead, you don't want to give up leads. And that's something the Knicks really have to work on. So it's something they are focusing on. They've changed up some formats. They're trying to take it a little more seriously, which by now you'd think they would have. But maybe coming out earlier, getting loose, getting a sweat going will get them ready for the third quarters. We'll see as we go forward.
Meanwhile, you have to really worry about your NBA career if you're put on waivers in this league. J.J. Hickson was put on waivers yesterday, and there's a weird little convoluted Knick connection to him, isn't there?
Yeah, it is. It's not that the Knicks are going to pick him up or anything like that. It sounds like when he clears on Wednesday, he'll end up in Golden State. But still, if you look back, in 2009-10 season, when he was actually a very good young player with the Cleveland Cavaliers while LeBron was still there, there was talk the Cavaliers wanted to trade for Amari Stoudemire, and the Phoenix Suns wanted J.J. Hickson as part of that deal. Well, obviously a good, talented, young power forward. The Cavaliers didn't want to give him up for a player like Amari Stoudemire who could opt out of his contract, so that deal never went down. But what if? What if? Think about it. If Amari ends up in that trade with Cleveland, if the Cavaliers make a run with him, does LeBron stay? Does Amari ever end up in New York? So many things, but instead, Amari's in New York, LeBron's in Miami, and J.J. Hickson's looking for a new team.